The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
There's an amazing thing. Reb Nachum Chernobyl was once, he used to collect money for Pidyon Shvuyim, to liberate Jews from prison. And somebody once informed upon him and he ended up in prison. And he was in prison, he was so upset. He says, Rebbeinu Shalom, I dedicate my life to free your children from prison. This is how you reward me? As he's complaining and expressing himself, and he was really, really frustrated. So there was this cleaning lady in the prison who walks into the room and is sweeping. And as she's sweeping, she's covered up, but she's sweeping. This is in Ukraine. And she turns to him and she says, you seem upset. He says, yeah, I'm upset about something. Maybe you want to tell me what? He's now going to start sharing his conversations with God to a Ukrainian cleaning lady in a Ukrainian prison. But she's like, he didn't even feel it was so. Nachum Chernobyl was from the tzaddikim of the generation. The Helikat Chernobyl, Moirinayim. So he says to her, I'm upset that I dedicate my life to liberate people from prison, and this is where I end up in. And I'm an innocent man. So she says to him, you forgot the pasuk in Lech Lecha? Since when does this Gentile Ukrainian cleaning lady know Lech Lecha? Who knows? Maybe she's a very from Catholic, Greek Orthodox woman who knows the Bible backwards and forwards. He says, what are you talking about? He says, Hashem tells Avram Avinu, Lech Lecha. So Rashi says, what's Lecha? Go for you. It's for your benefit. What was the benefit? So Nachum says, what? So she says, Avram Avinu was the great Machnes Eirach. He was the great host of the world. Everybody knew his tent is open all four sides. You get a hot, warm meal, you get an embrace, and you get a real place where you can feel at home and comfortable, a home away from home. But can somebody be a real host if they don't know what it feels like to be a refugee? You can't be a real host. Lech Lecha. I want you to become a refugee. I want you to relocate. I want you to be on the road. So you'll understand what it means to be a guest, and then you'll be able to be a host. She says, Reb Nachum, could you really do the mitzvah of Pidyon Shvuyim if you don't know what it is to sit in prison? That's why you're sitting in prison. He's like, Hazad Rosha, Hazad Shir, he is in prison. Anyway, she continues cleaning, she walks out, he gets out, comes to the Baal Shem Tov, walks to the Baal Shem Tov. Baal Shem Tov says, tell me, Reb Nachum, what does it feel like to hear a Torah directly from Sarah Imenu? What is it to hear a Torah directly from Sarah? Tell me what it's like. Yeah. You all know this in your life. When you hear a class or a lecture, or you have a conversation with somebody who understands what you're talking about and what you're going through, not from the books, but from their guts, from their soul, from their neshama. That's the only real advice we can listen to. It's a whole different level of advice. When you hear such people, it resonates and it pierces through all the layers and it touches you in your gut right away. Why? Because you feel the authenticity of it. And there's nothing that can replace that authenticity. As Sarah Imenu, or a cleaning Ukrainian lady, told Reb Nachum Chernobyl, this is the experience you go through to be able to truly help people liberate themselves from their shackles. If I never tasted those shackles, can I understand what those shackles feel like and help you out? How could I? I can't. If Avram Avinu didn't know the feeling of the guest, how can he really, really appreciate it? How can he really be that host?
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org